This is Mile High.
Do I want to tell the story or do I want to show the message?
You've got a lot of work to do between Mile High.
The time has come where we can know
we have a responsibility, an ethical and moral responsibility.
We have to do it better in order to move people along.
Up, down, inside out.
If you get your mind right,
it is not. It is a receiver of thought.
Because love is my first technique.
It's now time for the show.
Welcome to the Mile High Podcast. This is your host, Dr. Daniel Knowles. Thank you for joining us, and we would like to invite you to join us always, which means hit the subscribe button so you never miss any Mile High tick, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or our iTunes channel. We would like you to make sure you pump up the principle in your life through Mile High. Today, I'm super thrilled to introduce and have on this podcast episode the one and only Neil Cohen. Dr. Neil Cohen is the current Vice President of Sherman College. He is a phenomenal chiropractic practitioner, has served his community in California, in Florida for years. He's just going all over lately, so I don't know which state he's in, but served the Florida community for years, is a participant in Dynamic Essentials, and just an all-around great guy, has spoken at Mile High and has been at multiple Mile High events. I'm sure he'll be here at the next Mile High, which will be June 3rd to 6th, so you want to make sure you mark your calendar now. Dr. Neil Cohen, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here on this podcast, and I just wanted to mention how wonderful Mile High was this year. You guys pivoted, you navigated through some difficult times, you and your beautiful wife, Dr. Rochelle Knowles, and it was an incredible event. People are still talking about that event. The speakers were top notch, and I'm just pretty impressed with how you were able to showcase chiropractic, and thank you for keeping Sherman College as part of Mile High. We appreciate that. I know Dr. Cordero and I particularly appreciate our relationship with you and Dr. Rochelle.
Well, I appreciate you saying that about the event. You know, what do we do as chiropractors? We adapt and we optimize, and that's what we do. And that's what Dr. Rochelle and I did. We said, how do we adapt and optimize the current circumstance? And that's what chiropractors do, right? And Sherman College is very special to myself and Dr. Rochelle. It's where we met. It's where we learned the principle. To us, it's given us, everything of our experience of our life and our kids. And so we're really grateful to highlight Sherman always and make sure people know that it is the school to go to, certainly in the U.S. for sure. And let's help people get to know you a little bit, Neil. How did you find your way into chiropractic?
Well, it's an incredible heart story. I always knew that I wanted to help people. And I didn't just want to go to college and get a degree and then be miserable the rest of my life. I was really looking for a calling. I knew absolutely nothing about chiropractic. I met my beautiful wife, Randy. We became boyfriend and girlfriend, very serious relationship. And she was going to the chiropractor. And frankly, she took me. She, women have this ability to inspire and to prompt in a great direction. And she took me to the chiropractor. I got my first adjustment. And it was at that moment, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, I know this doesn't happen with everybody, but that I knew that I wanted to be a chiropractor. I knew very little about chiropractic. I asked this chiropractor what it was about. He did not really give me much. He was a graduate from New York. He was very successful. I saw the things that he had, and I said, hey, this looks like something that I can do. And then when I learned about the principles and the philosophy of chiropractic, I actually bought it hook, line, and sinker. It was in my crawl my entire life. I just didn't know it. So I was called. So in effect, Randy birthed chiropractic into our family because, as you know, Dr. Danny, my son Michael practices in Edmonton, Alberta with Dr. Jason Sabo. And I know you know my daughter, Sarah Cohen, who practices in Greenville, South Carolina. She's an NSA practitioner. She is absolutely in love with chiropractic. Michael is in love with chiropractic. We just had our first grandson on the 8th of July. He was born at home in Canada. And, you know, you leave a legacy. When chiropractic touches your heart and you are committed to it and you're passionate about it, it leaves a legacy. So that's how I got in. And now we have the next generation within my family that is going to be spreading the word about this wonderful, wonderful way of living, way of thinking.
Outstanding. And that's a chiropractic lifestyle. And that's who you want to have as part of the leadership team at a chiropractic institution, is people that have chiropractic in their blood, as we say it. You know, I feel like you and Dr. Cordero, a mentor of mine, used to say this. You're one of those people that if they cut their arm, they actually bleed chiropractic. So,
well, hopefully I don't have to go that far. You know,
yeah.
And I will say this, you know, we have an amazing team at the college. You know, we have Dr. Decken, we have Dr. Kent, we have Dr. Dooley, and I know I'm going to leave out everybody else, but you think about that, and you think about the members that are on the board of directors of Sherman College, guys like Matt McCoy. You're a former board of trustee. Rochelle is now a board of trustee. We have some amazing people that have been on our board, that are on our board. Dr. Campanelli, and it's just, we could go on and on. So chiropractic runs through, true chiropractic runs through the culture of Sherman College. And that's what I love about Sherman, is we're willing to protect, preserve, promote, and perpetuate chiropractic when not everybody is doing that. And that is really what concerns me, Dr. Danny Knowles.
Yes, I know. You and I have had many conversations about this, and it concerns me as well. So I have some areas that I want to ask you about, but let's talk about what you just said first. How can connecting students to Sherman impact the future of the profession?
Well, what we have to realize is that we have about 20 schools in the country, and very, very few of them are promoting the vitalistic understanding of chiropractic, the 33 principles. So that's one thing. The thing we have to realize about that is that students will generally pick a school based on geographical location. So for me, unless they live in North Carolina or South Carolina, it's a bad decision. So if they're coming from anywhere else, they really need to check out Sherman College, because by coming to Sherman College, they're going to get a chiropractic education. They're going to learn how to locate, analyze, correct vertebral subluxations. They're going to understand the philosophy. They're going to know how to adjust, and they're going to be able to have enough science and a quality science education that's going to allow them to pass the boards. And that's really what we want to do. We want to create the chiropractors for the future, because if we have too many mechanists, too many allopathic thinking chiropractors, too many medicalized schools that call themselves health science institutions that are really, really attenuating the future of chiropractic, we need to get strong. We need to anchor. We need to have the will to want to teach people what this message of chiropractic is, so we can impact not only today, but impact the future. And frankly, I want to look at this 25 years down the road, and I don't want Sherman College to be the only college that's teaching chiropractic. We need those other colleges to step up.
Yes, I agree. And I often think, well, if we send 10 people out from my town to some other 10 different chiropractic colleges, and one of them goes to Sherman, and those 10 come back to my town, what message do those 10 people then teach to my town in terms of what chiropractic is, and how does that dilute it, or how does it strengthen it, right? It could go one way or the other. And that concerns in terms of what people has as a public perception in terms of your message. So let me ask you this. Tell us about, they talk about chiropractic as a philosophy, a science, and an art. Tell us about the philosophy of chiropractic at Sherman.
Well, we're very, very strong in the philosophy. I believe it's the foundation to really anchoring yourself as a chiropractor, because it tells you what your why is. You know, we have to learn not only when to adjust, but when not to adjust. And I think that's as important in the chiropractic profession. We have to be able to understand that we have this incredible inborn intelligence that communicates through our nervous system and really allows our body to heal at the highest level. Dr. Christopher Kent, he is just an amazing addition to Sherman College, and I know he's in the research department. And he tells our students four things, four simple ideas. One, the body is self-healing, which is a very powerful message that chiropractors and chiropractic students need to know. Not just understand, but understand and agree with that the body is self-healing. The second thing is that the nervous system is responsible for every aspect of the human experience. So it's extremely important. What do chiropractors work with? The nervous system. And what do? We remove interference. That's number 3. Because if interference could be on the nervous system, chiropractors are the ones that correct vertebral subluxations and remove that interference. So right there, that's a whole different way of thinking. I didn't mention pain, I didn't mention symptoms, and not that that patients don't come in with those things. We have to understand and meet people where they're at. But at the end of the day, what we're looking for is that interference, because what we want people to live clear. We want them to be connected, because we can do as much as we can do for a patient and remove subluxation, and yet they still may be expressing symptoms. Sometimes symptoms are expressed because the body needs to express those symptoms. I often use the example, if your pet dies, you grieve. There's no adjustment that's going to take away your grieving. Grieving is part of the process. Pain is part of the process. Healing has certain manifestations. So what's happened is the public and chiropractic students and chiropractors have bought into the understanding, the philosophy that we're there to remove their pain. That's not true. We're there to allow them to express life at the highest level. And in that, certainly the best opportunity for their pain to go away lies therein. And so we teach this at Sherman College. We teach the 33 principles. As a matter of fact, everybody who gets employment at Sherman College has to sit through Bill Deckin's first quarter philosophy class. I think that's a marvelous way to introduce people to the culture of Sherman College. So we are very serious, not only about teaching our employees about chiropractic. You can imagine how serious we are about teaching our students who have to go 14 quarters to get the Doctor of Chiropractic degree.
And I have to say this, visiting Sherman, when I was in undergrad, I was not necessarily considering chiropractic school. It was in a possibility and a low on the list of possibilities for me at the time. And I visited Lyceum, and just visiting the institution, by the time I was like, oh, this is where I'm going, you know? Absolutely. And because the philosophy and the why, and hearing from the instructors what chiropractic was about, it just got into me at a whole nother level. Now, science, one of the things we hear often is, straight chiropractors, principal chiropractors, they're unscientific, or they're not evidence-based, or it's just philosophy, but what's the real science? We see chiropractic as a philosophy, science, and art. What's the science of chiropractic like at Sherman?
Well, we have an incredible academic program. We bring in the best of the best, and obviously Dr. Christopher Kent is the best of the best when it comes to research and science. But you have to understand that the chiropractic program these days is broken down into 2 parts. You have your sciences, your basic sciences that you learn really the first year and a half that you're at Sherman, along with chiropractic. Basic sciences, we're required to have either MDs or PhDs teach those sciences. So they're learning from folks that have those degrees. The chiropractic aspect, which is the second part of the program, they're learning mostly from chiropractors. And most of those chiropractors that are at Sherman College, I would say between 80 and 85%, they are in practice. They are in practice locally. So you're not learning from somebody that, was in practice 20 or 30 years ago. Listen, I've been out of practice for about 6 or 7 years, and I feel like I'm behind the game. I don't, things have changed a lot in the last 6 or 7 years, just as I witness them. So the teachers, the faculty that they're learning from are currently in practice. And we offer just the best of the best with regard to philosophy and science as well. I know Dr. Kent works very closely with the Foundation for Vertebral Subluxation and Dr. Matt McCoy. They're working on some papers on the immune system. And, frankly, the science and the philosophy together, literally, along with the art, legitimizes who we are as chiropractors. Philosophy is important, but I believe that philosophy, art, and science are co-equal, and they're also co-glorious. And we need to have a balance. You don't have one bicep that's 12 inches and another bicep that's 6 inches. We have to build up our chiropractic muscles in all three of those areas. And I'm going to even add a fourth area to that, which is business. Sherman is teaching 14 quarters of proven business principles. We have our G10 program, which is graduation plus 10 years. And the outcome for that is students to be debt-free, free from student loan debt after 10 years of graduation. No other college is doing that. We truly care about the future of this profession. And this is why we've instituted the business program. This is why we've instituted the initiative Obsessed with Student Success. We want to see this profession not only flourish, but perpetuate throughout the next several generations.
And that's amazing. And I ask about this. I want people to understand this. There's this term that we've heard relative to Sherman College and science, where people have talked about evidence-informed and the evidence-informed division or department. Can you share about that?
Yeah, well, Dr. Kent he's the master at explaining that, and I wouldn't want to try to even meet his level of understanding. But, a lot of the terminology has been very, very much misunderstood. When people think about evidence-informed, you have to understand what goes on in the clinical area. The clinical area is very, very important. That's part of the evidence. People that are getting well from chiropractic care. People think that we have to do some kind of research outside of clinical. Yes, we can do that as well. But at the end of the day, you have to marry all of these things together. So you have your clinical aspect, you have your research aspect, and you have to pull these things together. And that's what Dr. Kent is in favor of, and that's what that's what he's taught when he goes out and speaks to the profession. So it's very important that we understand it's not us against them. It's really a matter of just sharing much of what goes on within the offices of chiropractic. And that's part of our evidence.
And then one of the things that's so often said about Sherman is the best adjusters come out of Sherman, or if you really want to learn to adjust, go to Sherman. Tell us about the art and learning the art of chiropractic at Sherman.
Well, I know some of this because you're a Sherman grad, and so is Dr. Rochelle, but we have something called the Sherman System or the Sherman Package, where they learn several different techniques. They learn upper cervical, they learn Thompson, they learn toggle, they learn diversified, they learn knee chest. There's several and many techniques that the students are exposed to. And then the ones that are not part of the curriculum, there are clubs for. So we have clubs on campus that meet on Thursdays. And if you're interested in learning techniques that are outside the curriculum, we make them available in our clubs. So Sherman is very diverse and very inclusive with regard to techniques. And it's really an amazing place for a student to find out what their gift is, because techniques are so varied, they're so different. We have to sort of find our own level. What resonates in our soul? What type of technique would we like to do, or techniques would we like to do? So that's what Sherman offers, and we have some of the greatest instructors that Dr. Cordero, he's pretty brilliant. He's a strategist, and he's pulled a lot of people from all over the country into Sherman College. Some of them have said, hey, I want to be part of this, and others he's coaxed into coming. We got Armin Rossi, we've got Ron Castellucci. The list goes on and on. Jamie Browning, Christine Theodosis. This is a really cool thing. You talk about technique. I was in Clearwater last week. We just had the Epic table donated to us by Epic Clinics, Dr. Stan Pierce and Kelsey Wignington. And now we have this incredible table that's in our college that will be able to utilize the Epic technique, which is different than some of the other instrument techniques, because it goes in not just the X and the Y axis, but the Z axis as well. Or I should say, not just the X and Z, but the Y axis as well. So it's a very specific way of receiving an adjustment. So with that being said, Sherman we're always innovative, we're always moving, and we're looking for the best of the best. Talk about science. It just reminded me, we have the CBCT unit that was donated by the upper cervical chiropractors. And so now we're the only ones to have a CBCT unit. And I don't know if you've seen the x-rays that come out of that, but it's like being inside the human body. Absolutely amazing. So that's in our health center right now.
That's amazing. And that all helps people become outstanding doctors of chiropractic. And that echoes through Sherman's message of being obsessed with student success. What does being obsessed with student success mean to you?
Well, Sherman's got a very difficult program. I'm going to be very transparent about that. It's not easy. We're looking for a very special student to come to Sherman College. We're not just looking for somebody that can just barely make it by the skin of their teeth. The requirements to get into Chiropractic College is a 2.75 GPA. Sherman would like to see a 3.0, meaning if you come in below a 3.0, we're going to put you in a special program to make sure that you can get through it. Why? Not because we don't want you, but because we do want you. But we don't want to take your money if you cannot make it through the program. It's a difficult program. So with student success, what we've set up is what we've called our Thrive program, which involves tutoring. It involves help for the students as they need it. And it's basically not a hand-holding, but it's an option. If a student finds themselves in trouble in a particular class, they can go to the Thrive director, they can find the help, they can get mentoring, they can get tutorship, and this is mentorship and tutoring, and this will help them through the program. And sometimes this is the nudge that they need. We found that the younger generation doesn't like to ask for help, and so what happens is we have these programs set in place where if they're in a certain percentage, they're going to get an email. And the email is going to say, hey, we noticed you're not quite up to par where you should be by this part of the quarter. I think you should come in and do some mentoring with us. And they do. And we're able to get them through the program. So Obsessed with Student Success also has to do with our Student Affairs Department, which is amazing. We're constantly putting on programs for our students to reduce stress. I know they bring puppies on campus. They do all these different things to help the students connect. Sherman's a big family. You know that, Danny. So it's all about just connecting and getting the students the best experience that they can at Sherman College.
And that shows. One thing that I know you're often concerned about, I'm often concerned about, and many chiropractors in the world are concerned about, which is the future of the chiropractic profession. You touched on it. Where will the profession be? Will it be an expression of the Palmer's ideals and the Palmer's values that are the foundation and the fabric of chiropractic philosophy, science, and art? And for many, that seems dark or dim as a possibility. How can Sherman brighten that future?
Well, Sherman has some offerings for the chiropractic profession. Number one, what I would like to suggest is that if you have somebody who's coming into your office, or maybe somebody who's in your life that's considering a chiropractic education, really deter them from going to a school based on geographical location. Sometimes chiropractors get giddy when they find out one of their practice members wants to be a chiropractor, and they decide to go to the nearest school. That might not be the best idea. I've often said you don't want to go to the chiropractor based on geographical location. You want to go to the best chiropractor. So you also want to go to the best school. What Sherman has done is they've opened up the campus 4 times a year with Showcase Sherman Weekend. Showcase Sherman Weekend allows the prospective student, their family, their significant other to come to the campus. We pay for the students' lodging. We pay for the food. We pay for the whole weekend. It's basically an open house. It's hospitality. We show them the Greenville-Spartanburg area. They're at the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We show them our gorgeous 80 acres with our new transformed campus. They meet Dr. Kent, they meet Dr. Kenya, they meet Dr. Dooley, they meet Dr. Decken, they meet a bunch of our faculty who share with them their heart and the future of chiropractic as a opportunity for them to make an impact and make a difference in their community. So it's a really good weekend. And my suggestion would be to find out more about that. Become a ROAR doctor. ROAR is an acronym, and you can see it right here for Reach Out and Recruit. Dr. Jorge Campos is our ROAR director. If you want to share information about Sherman College, it's absolutely free. We'll send you a bunch of stuff. We'll probably even send you some bling. I know I said that on camera, so it's got to happen now. Dr. Campos will send you a shirt. He'll send you some bling. And that way you can promote Sherman College. Because if we have a problem, we have to be part of the solution. And I'm not saying everyone has to go to Sherman. I'm not saying Sherman is right for everyone, but just give Sherman a chance to have a footprint. Allow them to see Sherman. If they want to see some of the other schools too, that's fine. I think that's great. Because at that point, they're going to really see the difference. And that's when they're going to be able to make a difference. The problem is if they go to one school that maybe is more on the allopathic side, maybe is more on the mechanistic side, maybe is more on the therapeutic side, they're not going to know what real chiropractic is. So they need to come to Sherman for that reason and that reason alone to see the campus.
Wow. And I have to tell you, for me, the turning point was being on campus. It was being on campus and hearing people speak at Sherman Lyceum. Now, I'll say this. Lyceum, Sherman College Lyceum, as well as IRAPS, are two shining jewels in the chiropractic profession that I actually put on the schedule. It's the first thing I do when I make my calendar for the year is I put on Sherman Lyceum, I put on IRAPS, and then I actually put Mile High after that. So because I always want to make sure where things are. Tell us about Sherman Lyceum.
Lyceum is an incredible program. We probably get somewhere between 700 and 1,000 guests coming to campus. And now we're so proud of our campus because we've completely transformed it. As you know, Dr. Danny, we used to have it at the Marriott in downtown Spartanburg, and it was a fine place to have it. But now we have this incredible Tom and Betty Gilardi Student Center where we can put 3 programs on all at once. And it is just incredible. Dr. Jillian Farrell puts on an incredible event. She's already organizing the event. She's been organizing next year's event. I know this past year, we had to go virtual, but next year we're prayerfully hoping that and it looks like we're going to be able to go live again. We're going to have somewhere between 30 and 35 incredible speakers. And Dr. Danny and Dr. Rochelle, you've spoken at Lyceum many, many times. We've had Dr. Epstein speak at Lyceum many, many times. We have just some of the best of the best. It's one of the best programs that you can come to and get your continuing education hours as well. If you haven't seen Sherman College in the last, I want to say 3 years, you haven't seen Sherman College. Sherman College went from 3 very distinct and separate buildings. Now we have a college campus. It is beautiful, it is connected, it is contiguous, it is lovely, and I am so proud of the vision that Dr. Cordero has allowed to come to fruition along with the team. He called me when he was at Sherman College, when he was walking the campus, and he said, "This is a diamond in the rough." And I had never been to Sherman at that point. I really didn't know what he was talking about. And then I got there and I said, "Diamond." I wasn't sure if I saw the diamond, but he's the visionary. He saw the diamond, and now it's glistening, it's beautiful, and we want to open up to everyone that we can. So come to Lyceum this year. It's usually the first weekend in May. I think the first weekend in May starts at the end of April this year, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the 28th, or it's the 29th or 30th of April. So get your tickets early. You'll save some money, and we'll see you there. Make sure you come up to me. It's like a 3-day wedding. So connect with me while you're there. We can't wait to see you.
Well, and Jillian does put on quite a show. She does a great job with Sherman Lyceum. And let's mention IRAPS real quick.
Oh, yeah.
A phenomenal event. I wish more people in chiropractic prioritize that, because the information, the research that's covered is phenomenal.
I was at IRAPS this year, and it was absolutely amazing. Every year that we go to IRAPS, it's incredible. And the reason why it doesn't, and I'm going to just be transparent as we always are at Sherman, IRAPS is for a special crowd. Not everybody is interested in the research and the science. But I will tell you this, every time I go there, I learn something. It is just incredible. We have some brilliant minds in chiropractic, absolutely brilliant minds. And you have to expose yourself to that side. You have to build your scientific muscles up in chiropractic. If we're going to be part of the marketplace, and it's important that we are part of the marketplace, we have to know our science. We have to be able to talk to the people out there that don't think we have science. We do. And IRAPS is where you're going to learn your science. Every year in October, we have IRAPS. This year, unfortunately, we're not going to have it, but I believe we're having another event. I believe Dr. McCoy is putting on something from the Foundation of Vertebral Subluxation. And it escapes me now, but everything he puts on is awesome. And
he's doing an immunity conference that's coming
up.
That's
what it is, right?
Yes. Do you know about it? It's an immunity conference. It's coming up. Mile High is sponsoring it.
Yes.
We decided to sponsor it because we want to be, research is vital for chiropractic. I got to tell you, Mile High, we don't sponsor too much. In terms of research, because it goes back into the event and to the charities that we support. But this we thought was vital, was to support this at Sherman College and the Immunity Conference. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. Well, Dr. McCoy is one special cat. And, he's super philanthropic when it comes to Sherman College and all the things that matter in chiropractic. If Dr. McCoy is behind something, is because it matters in chiropractic. So I'm going to encourage you to come, those that are listening, to the Immunity Conference, and I'll tell you why. We had something happen in March where it literally changed. It pivoted this country.
Yeah.
And chiropractors started talking about immunity, and what happened is they were told to shut up. They were told they couldn't do that. And what did we do at that point? Where did we go? We need to have this information. We know that the immune system is connected to the nervous system. We understand that, but we have to be able to demonstrate that to the masses. We have to have the substance. Dr. McCoy has been working on this diligently since that time. I know that I've read at least 3 papers that between Dr. Kent and Dr. McCoy that they're working on, and Dr. Christy Kwan as well. And I know there are others, so forgive me, I'm probably not mentioning everyone, but this is where we live. We live in adaptability. Immune system allows us to either adapt or not adapt based on that. Very interesting. I was in the Uber today. I'm in Philadelphia now, and I was taking an Uber ride, and I was in a van, and there was a piece of plastic all the way from the front of the van to the back of the van. So I was literally plastic. So I said to the guy, "Hey, this is nice." I said, "Why do you have this? Are you scared?" He goes, "Man, I am scared." I said, "What are you scared of?" He goes, "I'm scared of the virus." He goes, "You're not scared?" I said, "No, I'm not scared." He goes, "Why aren't you scared?" I said, "Well, I have an immune system." He goes, "You know what?" He goes, "That's what I thought." He goes, "Thank you for telling me that. I got to go home and tell my wife. She's scared. I'm not scared anymore." So we have this opportunity to share with people that they have this power within themselves. And McCoy is going to do that with his guests, with his speakers, come the immunity conference.
Yes, exciting. Well, I'm really grateful to hear all the exciting stuff at Sherman College. What's the go-to way for people to learn more about sending a student to Sherman?
Sherman.edu. Just go right to Sherman.edu. You can go /roar. You can go /showcase. But if you go to the website, you'll see everything on there, and then you can navigate through it. I don't know if you've been to the website lately, Dr. Danny, but we've got a brand new website. It's absolutely amazing. The best I've seen since I've been at Sherman College. It is just incredible. You could actually navigate through and see that we have the 33 principles on the walls for the students to see every day in the Scallon building. And people don't know. They say, "Well, how did the name Scallon come about?" Well, Mac and Kitty Scallon were jailed chiropractors. Went to maximum security prison for our profession. We don't stand on their shoulders. We stand on their lives. And that's why the building is named Scallon. And within the Scallon building are the 33 principles. Go to the website, see what that looks like. We have the honor wall. We have honor tiles that you can get. We have bricks that you can get. Put your footprint on Sherman College, because by doing that, you will impact the future of chiropractic. I am just so proud of what we are doing at Sherman College. I'm proud to be part of an amazing team. We have an executive team that is bar none. We have a faculty that is incredible. We have students that are just amazing. Go watch some of the videos that are on our website that our students made about Sherman College. We couldn't pay them to say the nice things that they say about Sherman College. They truly love us, and they're truly part of our family, and we love them as well. So hope to see everybody at Sherman real soon.
Well, and we're grateful for the whole leadership team. We're grateful for the faculty, instructors, and most of all, we're grateful to the students that choose to get their education at Sherman and go out into the world and practice chiropractic, because where chiropractic lives is in the offices of the practicing chiropractic, and we need more offices that practice with the principles like they're taught at Sherman to impact individual communities, to change the world for the better and change spines, lives, and minds. So I want to thank you for being on the podcast, Dr. Neil. Thank you for being at Mile High every year. We look forward to seeing you at it next year too, in June.
Definitely.
So
I'll be there. We'll be there with the whole team.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal. And we're doing a whole new thing about it. It's going to be exciting when I announce it. So anyway, thank you for being on the podcast. Everybody who's listening, remember, hit subscribe. Never miss any Mile High Tick. We look forward to seeing you at Mile High in June 3rd to 6th. And get all the information at milehighchiroregistration.com. And remember to send students to Sherman College and at least to visit. Okay. And thank you again for Dr. Neil. I know you've done a lot for chiropractic over the last couple of years, really giving what you can through Sherman.
I'm honored to be here. Thanks for having me, Dr. Danny. And God bless. I love you.